My whole life I've been told that ink bottles, aka inkwells, are cheaper to use in a fountain pen than cartridges. But I'm actually going to test that to see if this or this has better value. For that, I will be calculating the price per milliliter for both cheaper and more expensive ink bottles and for this brand of ink cartridges, because it's the only thing that works with my fountain pens. First, I measured the quantities of the inkwells. Okay, I'm going to pour water into the first one. And then I'm going to pour the water into a measuring cup right here. And it measures something over 50 milliliters, about 60, let's say. It was as I was trying to open the second one that I discovered that these things have their volume on the bottom. This one, the cheaper one, measuring at 62.5 milliliters, while the more expensive one is exactly 57 milliliters. Talk about wasted time. After that, I had to measure the price for these cartridges. For that, I measured the volume of one of them. That turned out to be harder than expected because I wanted to either use a scale to measure the difference in weight and then multiply by the density of ink, but I don't have an accurate enough scale. And I also don't have a syringe or something small to measure this kind of quantity. So what I did is I ended up filling the cartridge up with tap water and dumping it into a measuring cup until I reached the lowest kind of grading, which was 50 milliliters, and then I divided by the number of times I had filled it. 10, 15, 20, 27 and 31. The number turned out to be 31. So I divided 50 by 31, giving me 1.6, about 1.6 milliliters. Now for the price, I'm going to be comparing prices from the same shop. A price for a pack of 5 of these is about €2.80. Now 280 divided by 5, the number of cartridges in a pack, is about 0.6 euros. So 0.6 euros divided by 1.6, the volume of one of these cartridges, that's 0.34 euros for 1 milliliter of ink. Now for the expensive ink, it's about €5.20 per bottle. Now we divide that by the volume of the bottle, which is 57 milliliters, which gives us 0.09 euros per milliliter, a lot cheaper than the ink cartridges. Now it's even better for the cheaper inkwell, as it costs €2.80, the same as these ones. But it holds a lot more, as you can see here, 62.5 milliliters. If we divide the price by that, it's 0.04 euros per milliliter, the cheapest price we had until now. In my opinion, it's a pretty good price. It is, however, true that in order to use the ink bottles, you need these. These are converters. Here is the cheaper one, and here is the more expensive one. And they come at prices of 5.2 for the cheap one and 9 for the more expensive one. So basically, after 2 or 3 packs of 5 cartridges, the price won't even matter, the small investment for the converter. However, with these, you can see a small problem: volume. How much can these hold? And to that, I can only answer you with doing this, which was slightly easier than last time. Yielded the results of 0.6 for the small converter and 0.7 milliliters for the big one. You might be asking now if that's enough for daily use, and from my experience I'd say it is. I don't recall having to fill the big converter more than once a day, and one case or maybe 2 cases when I had to fill the small converter more than once. So in conclusion, it is much cheaper to use these ink bottles or inkwells as is to use non-rechargeable ink cartridges to fill your fountain pens. Lastly, I have to say that I've been quite busy in the past few months, and I will be quite busy in the next few, so don't expect any more videos. Thank you for watching. Subscribe.